And welcome to the OC Hive Mind, everybody. My name is Victor, and I am joined by everyone's favorite in the comments, as always, Sparky.
What's going on, Vic? How are we doing today?
We're doing good, buddy. We got a pretty interesting deck in the finals here, it looks like, with Ash on Scamrack.
Scam Rack. We're gonna take two decks that are okay, put them together, and hopefully the deck's good. Um, I gotta be honest with you, I'm gonna take Zoo in this matchup. I'm not sure how it's going, but
Yeah, I'm not too sure either. You know, Zoo obviously been a pillar of the modern format for a little bit of time here. It's really had its heyday. So
yeah, especially turn one to Coddle. We're gonna see a little bit of aggression here. I'm a big fan of just being aggressive in the format, especially if you're not sure what you're trying to do. Um,
certainly doesn't hurt. Would have loved to have seen a ley line, but you know, beggars can't be choosers, and you can't always have it, right?
And then the black deck playing Thoughtseize starts off with a Thoughtseize. What would be your pick here? You see two lands, Tribal Flames, and two Scions.
So looking at Ash's list, he does run three Shieldred's Edict, which you know more than most decks are, and three Liliana. So he does have a lot of ways to deal with those Scions. However, I think seeing multiples of Scions can be difficult because then you kind of have to, you know, try to clear the board in a way. So I do like taking the Scion here. The tribal flames might come back to haunt him later on, but you know, there's only so much you can do, and you know, if you're getting beat in the face with a creature, you're not going to be able to save life anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that. My other issue here is that, like, if your opponent is trying to get to domain, they're going to have to take almost their turn off, right? So those Scions aren't coming down until turn 3 and turn 4. How much does that really matter? Looks like Tom drew a Nicodle off the top, so he's got two dueling Nicodles, along with another fetch land, Tribal Flames, and Scion in his hand. Looking pretty good, looking pretty strong. Ash is staring down at what seems to be Pithing Needle, a March of Wretched Sorrow, Urza's Saga, Castle Lochthwain, and a couple other black cards, it seems like.
Yeah, not. I mean, listen, the deck's certainly interesting. I do like the value engine of Urza Saga. It does seem like it might be a little difficult. Okay, interesting.
So if you're go, I feel like from a player perspective, if you're going to just make this play where it doesn't matter if you have black mana right now, you play the Urza Saga, right? Because it gets Urza's Saga down early. It has you at a point where if you untap, you can make a construct to start blocking, and it's not like the black mana meant anything at the moment. You have another
Yeah,
Castle
I
Lochthwain in
can agree
hand
with
too.
that. Yeah, that's a lot of black sources, and there's not going to be an immediate payoff, especially if he's not doing anything with it. So,
Sure. It also looks like there's a Douthie in hand, which I would have liked to see been played on turn 2. Um, and then another March of Wretched Sorrow. It looks like the draw was like at this point where Ash is sitting. I think the Urza Saga is way too late. You're at 9. Your opponent is representing a billion damage basically while you're at 9, especially with all the known info. I'm not really sure how we get out of this spot here.
yeah, this is going to be a tough one to get out of from this spot. I mean, even if you were to scam the grief in, there's not too many cards here that will. Interesting.
So we okay. So he gets rid of the Scion, goes up to 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I
Yeah,
see I see
so
I see
he's
11 damage. If we have a bolt, the game's kind of just over. Maybe no, and I guess it's not over because
no,
we don't have
because
another red
the
source.
he wouldn't be able to play the second red source there. So I
Yeah.
mean, Tom's probably going to shoot off this. I mean, he might wait, but I don't really know if there's a reason to wait. I would just probably use the mana while you got it. I mean, all information's out. You're playing against a discard deck. You don't really want the cards in your hand at that point.
No, just put him to 2. Force him to have 2 removal spells.
Right? He's going to fire that off.
Smart play by Tom. We got the untap. We got the Saga trigger. I think that's another March. No, it's just. I think it's
the
just
Shieldred's Edict.
Ironically, you're still not alive.
No, he has the blocker. Little missequencing there. I mean, Tom probably.
Is that a Mishra's factory?
Yes.
Okay.
He's got the manland there to keep him alive.
Oh, did he? Oh, did he miss? Did he miss the pump? I think he missed the pump with the factory. Oh no, we played the factory that turn. It had summoning sickness. Oh, okay. Little known fact: if you have a factory on defense, you can tap it to pump itself. We have a rack has hit the battlefield. We have not scammed, but we have racked. Just so you know, Victor, I am a big fan of a good rack.
You have explained that to me multiple times. How could I forget?
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think this is a good rack here because your opponent has 2 cards in it. So are we making him discard? Ooh, we are. Okay. Gigantha down. We can block the Nicodle.
And Tom does take some damage.
Yes. I think we just have to avoid getting burned here.
Tom has drawn quite a bit of land, so...
Yeah, if I'm Tom, I'm jamming here. I'm going to be honest. My opponent's at 2. I'm jamming in with the dude.
Let's see. Interesting.
Okay. Let's see how much longer we can sit here and play this game. I mean, Tom now is free from the rack. And I don't think Bowmaster... Yeah, it's a very good draw. I don't think Bowmaster's pushing too much damage. It's not a huge threat right now. As long as... Sorry. I mean, as long as there's not like some draw spells, but normally Zoo doesn't run those, so...
Yeah, I mean, hey, interesting knowing that he's playing against Zoo, that he didn't leave one of them back potentially. I mean, the lightning bolt will do it.
Or
but
a dash Ragavan is death there, so I guess he had 8 draws at it, depending on how many lightning bolts are in Tom's deck. Relatively speaking.
I mean, he could have had removal, to be fair, but sometimes just getting to keep that removal and leaving that, I don't know if the extra damage really mattered in that sense, but who knows?
Taking a look at some of the cards, I see a Spell Pierce coming in for Tom, and I'm really interested to see what Ash is going to be bringing in and bringing out. It looks like he has Fatal Pushes. Some of the numbers here I'm not all that happy with. I'm not sure if Ash doesn't have 4 Not Dead after all, but I would have liked to see 4 Fatal Push. Fatal Push is a little bit better than Shieldred's Edict, in my opinion.
Yeah, the list that we're working off of might be a little... There might have been some changes. I'm not going to go look through the version control here and see if there was changes done. So, whatever have you, we'll kind of just enjoy with everyone else at home and figure out what's going on from there.
It looks like a Necromentia, another Necromentia, and a Damnation.
I like the Damnation. Definitely, Ash is certainly not going to be the beatdown in a lot of cases here.
Sure. I don't know how much I vouch for what's going on, but I would have brought, it looks like Ash's sideboard, like I said, we have discrepancies. It looks like Ash's sideboard has 2 Necromentia, 2 Damnation. I would have brought 4 of those 4 cards in. I don't think we need the Pithing Needle against this deck. The rest of it's kind of okay. So I would have probably cut the Pithing Needle and...
You know what, actually, if he still had it in his sideboard that isn't a bad, not a necessarily next level kind of thing, but a little bit crazy thinking, I wouldn't mind the Torok Dread Cantor coming in, just because if Tom has the ley line in play, those creatures are white, so it is a decent kind of wall and potentially something to get through.
No,
So
I agree with that.
The same reason that some decks bring in Celestial Purge against the deck because of the ley lines text. So it might have been a cool idea. Not sure if he brought it in or thought about it, but just something to think about there.
No pre-games, but turn 1 Nakato. Now, hold on. I think we should all take a pause here and understand that Ash lost the game, and Ash is on the draw. I know there's a lot of people, possibly in the Rack forums, the Rack Discord, the Rack MySpace pages, back when I guess the Rack was still good, that would tell you want to be on the draw so your opponent isn't drawing cards and filling their hand. You want to keep their hand as card light as possible, right? So I don't necessarily agree with that in the scam matchup because you have free unmasks and all that. And I think just allowing your opponent to just kind of run rampant with a turn 1 play when you have Thoughtseize isn't really that great.
Yeah, I mean, the deck being half and half, certainly, I mean, I haven't ever played against the Rack in the grand sense of Modern where it was fully enveloped on that, but
I don't think that's true. Friend of the show, Frank Bavasso, has played his fair amount of Modern Rack decks.
Oh, you know what? Thank you for reminding me. Frank has played it.
Shout out to you, Frank. The lone
shout out to
player.
Frank. Great friend and loyal fan of the channel. So
yep, we appreciate
recognize that. Definitely appreciate you. I forgot that he does play that, so please forgive me. His humor usually gets me so caught off guard that I don't even remember much of the game happening.
Sure, and that's understandable. We see Inti here on turn 2 from Tom. Do you think he's worried about a possible Rack? Oh,
certainly.
I would have played.
But
I see a Rack in Ash's hand. I'm not sure what was left, but I think I would have jammed it out there, just because like your opponent's discarding in order to make his guys bigger. You got to get in that chip damage.
All right, so I guess he's going to try to keep 3 cards in hand. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I don't know if you're trying to be the aggressor and be ahead. I don't know if you necessarily care that much, but I mean, it might be worthwhile to keep some cards just because of the fact that, Ash does have a lot of spot removal, and just playing in black, there's going to be access to a lot of removal. So it's not a terrible idea not to leave yourself empty-handed. Yeah, again, this is where, just practicing that tightness of play, remembering that Tom does get priority before something happens there to kill the
you basically just stone range yourself. I don't necessarily agree with that. I'm not sure if he had another line of play, but taking the 6 there, staring down 9 damage. Like, you gotta have all of it. I see a possible grief scam going on, but you're just dead to the attack.
Yep.
And he was.
Unfortunately.
It's a kind of unfortunate there. I don't necessarily like seeing something like that. But I mean, had we played the Rack, had we done some other things, I'm not sure if we just drew the scam piece this turn. But it also looks like there's a Liliana. Looks like opponents are showing the sideboards. I like the pick your poisons and the Stern Scoldings coming in. I think Ragavan is actually very good against him, to be honest.
I do believe that Ragavan decks traditionally, when they see Bowmaster, take it out. Though I don't know if Tom was ready to hear I'll be on the draw, or I'll take the draw, which might have surprised them. But even still, I think most decks, I know Scam usually in the mirror takes out Ragavans, which is because of those Bowmasters. So,
yep. But once again, folks, we thank you for joining us. We appreciate you following us, and we look forward to seeing you next time. Say goodbye, Vic.
Bye, Vic.